Hey everyone, I'm going to be talking today about planning the eye lines in a painting. Basically how the eyes of the characters shape the mood of the entire piece. And all examples I'm pulling are going to be from my own work. So I've been thinking about how different choices can make big changes to the story and tone of an image. There are the obvious ones like choosing your subject and choosing if the scene is going to have a lot of action or be more calm. And there are important but often overlooked ones like how you design your lighting or color palette. And then there are very subtle ones that might not even play on a conscious level, like what we learn from the character's eyes. In movies, you almost never see a character look directly at the audience. It's called breaking the fourth wall, and it can feel distracting, awkward, or uncomfortable. Occasionally, a director might choose to do this for some dramatic or comedic purpose, but overwhelmingly, we are used to seeing actors maintain eye lines within the fictional world they live in. Whether looking at something in frame or out of frame, we believe their world because of how they control where they look. And when they break this rule and look directly at us, we feel it as stepping outside of that fictional space. In still images, the rules are a bit different, but there is still a strong psychological impact to the choice of eye lines. Having a subject make direct eye contact in a photo or a painting can often be used to create a connection with the viewer, and this is extremely common in portraits and advertisement. I think about eyeline a lot in planning my paintings. How we design the eyelines can completely change the story, and whatever choice we make is going to have an impact. We naturally gravitate to study faces in images and eyes within those faces. So minute nuances in the eyes can change the mood or emotion we read in the character, and where the eyes look likewise. In my paintings, there are two big categories of eye lines and a couple subcategories, and each one shapes the feel of the piece. But the big categories are eye contact or no eye contact. If the subject or multiple subjects of a painting make eye contact with the viewer, this creates a compositional magnet. We are going to lock in on those eyes and we will feel more immediate connection with the character. This carries strong emotional weight and is a very powerful attention-grabbing tool. In looking at these images, notice how we feel intimacy with the subject. Notice how this connection gives them more intensity and more drama. And this comes at a cost. When we use eye contact in this way, we also change the way that the viewer feels time in the piece. Direct eye contact is slow or even halting, and this makes it potentially disruptive to a kinetic or high action scene. Eye contact during an action scene creates a dead stop in the flow of the piece, and it gives the feeling of breaking the fourth wall in a movie, so it should be used very intentionally. Eye contact also establishes a tone which is generally incompatible with non-eye contact, which is to say, having some figures in the painting looking around the scene will clash with a figure looking at us, the viewer, again breaking the fourth wall. This is kind of a know when to break the rules scenario, as you can either get comedic or unsettling effects out of this. The opposite approach to direct eye contact is no eye contact. In this case, the eye lines of the characters are either directed at something within the frame, directed outside the frame, or hidden altogether. And these each influence the story in more subtle ways. In-frame eye lines are the most directly narrative. The characters are relating to the scene which we see in a way that communicates specific story information. If they're looking at other characters, objects, whatever the case may be, we can have a fairly clear understanding of their actions, motives, and intentions because we're given clear and specific information. Out-of-frame eye lines are still very narrative, but less specific. This approach might be used to add more mystery or atmosphere. When the subject is looking off into the middle distance, it suggests a larger world outside the boundaries of the image. Our imagination will expand the scene, and this can increase the scope or epic feel of an image. It also can be used just as a neutral vantage point. We're an observer and the character is existing within their world. In contrast to eye contact, which can give the impression of a frozen moment, looking out of frame or just past the viewer can allow more a sense of time passing in a piece. Hidden eye lines are something I find interesting, but definitely are a special purpose approach. Omitting the eyes or face might make sense if you want to have a very mysterious or moody or unsettling image. Sometimes this is done through cropping, which will depersonalize the subject while calling strong attention to the act of depersonalizing them. You communicate to the audience that there's a reason that we are being denied seeing this character's face. A little less jarring, you can also keep the face or eyes in shadow or silhouette, so the viewer can feel that critical information is being withheld and will feel disconnected or wary. The subject is intentionally inaccessible. And while those are the basic choices as I see them, there can also be interesting results in combining these. Some examples here, like showing direct eye contact with a character that has no eyes, can feel intense while also extra unsettling. Or here are a couple examples where breaking the fourth wall adds to the story, as though the subject is sharing a secret with us. And in some cases, I think it can be interesting when the supporting cast of an image are all looking in frame, but our central character is looking out of frame, which communicates a feeling that they are mentally or emotionally not connected with those around them. I try to make my choices thoughtful in telling a story, and this is a small one that makes a big difference.